Good morning, everyone. Day 25, and today let's talk about making you a better seller of sports cards. Before I begin today, I do want to say I really hope that you're able to make it through the video yesterday and really understand what I was saying and really heard the last part. But if you did not, I'm going to play it right now for you. This is what makes me happy, and this is what is great about the hobby. So when you think about investment with yourself first. Think about what you enjoy the most, and everything else doesn't matter. So here we are, day 25. This is in theory supposed to be, and hopefully, the middle period of my furlough. So I'm supposed to be furloughed through May 31st. So hopefully this is true. Hopefully I'll get the call here soon saying, hey, back to normal in June. So hopefully this is the middle point of the show. But for anyone who is new to the show or has been sort of tuning in periodically, if you did not look at the first or watch the first episode, I would go back and check that, because that kind of explains the flow of the show and kind of what I'm doing here. So I think it's critical to watch the first episode and watch them all if you have time. But please check that show out. If you're questioning, like, why am I talking about gardening or grass or whatever it could be, please check out that episode, because that kind of explains my thought process around how I'm doing these. So let's talk business now. Let's talk about the topic of the day, and this is about you becoming a better seller in the marketplace. But first, if you could do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button if you have not so far. I'm at 216 right now. My goal was to be at 200 on Monday, and now I have a new goal for myself. Can I get to 225 by the next Monday? So 3-4 days from now. Do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button and continue to share the content. So thank you for that. But hey, yesterday we talked about investment. Today let's talk about making you a better seller. And again, I've broken this up into 3 different categories, and let's look at the first category right now. Okay, so first up on the list of how do we become a better seller, or how do you become a better seller in this environment? And number 1 on my list is we must become better buyers of our product. That means we have to buy the product at the right price. What does that mean, and how do we do that? So number 1, do not be afraid to pre-order product. Pre-order it 6 months in advance. We know typically what is going to be in a product, regardless of the checklist. So if you're looking to lock in the bottom price or the lowest price, I would pre-order your product early. Like right now, for example, if they ever come out, I've got 3 cases of Pro Debut reserved, and I've got 3 cases of Ginter reserved. And I reserved them the moment they were announced so I could lock in the best price. Obviously, I'm not getting distributor prices. I'm getting a little bit higher than that, but that's the best price that I'm going to find at that moment. Number 2, don't be afraid to shop around. I know we all have our favorite online retailer of product, but sometimes they compete against each other. They do quite frequently, and you can save $5-10 here and there with a coupon or a deal. So be mindful, shop around, and look for the best price. What we're doing here, is we're looking for spots that are plus EV. So anyone who is from the poker world from 10, 12 years ago, you're going to understand that term. But we're looking for positive expected value here with the purchase price. The lower, the better when it comes to the product itself. Look, Topps Series 1 at $600 for a hobby case, that's a great buy in my opinion. Topps Series 1 at $800 for a hobby case, to me that's negative expected value or negative EV. I think that $200 gap in that product, it's just too big. So we're looking to have the lowest price possible, and typically that is going to be the entry-level price when the product first gets announced. So don't be afraid to email Blowout, DA Card World, whatever retailer you're going to use, do not be afraid to pre-order early. The main reason is this. If you buy the product for too high of a price, from a seller perspective, we then start chasing. And if we're trying to make money here and make a little bit of profit and cover our expenses in a sense, we can't be chasing. Chasing leads to incorrect pricing of your listings. It leads to incorrect counters to buyers. It sort of clouds your judgment of your cards, because you're now trying to cover a buy-in price that was too high. So we're trying to stay away from chasing and negative EV spots and stay in the positive EV, which is obviously pre-ordering and having the lower buy-in price. Okay, so look, we have our product. Now what do we do with it? To me, the listing title and how you list your product, to me, is going to be the single most important thing you can do outside of a clear photo of the front and the back. And this is where also I see sellers losing money because their listing titles are terrible or very opportunistic in a sense. And I say that because we can give the same case with the same results to 5 different sellers, and everybody is going to come away with a different results, whether you make or lose money. There is no cookie cutter approach to this. There is no do A, B, C, and D. You have to learn your ways. But to me, one thing I've learned the most is how to properly have the listing title to draw attention to the buyers. And so here on the screen is an example of sort of 5 listings I have up at the moment. So things that I've been doing recently, and this has been in the past, I think, 2 to 3 years. Number one, I always start with the player name, and I always do capital letter. I want to grab the person's attention. So for example, on the list, Kyle Tucker. Then I have what that product is. So 2019 Top Series 1. Then in capital letters again, I have what the card is. So these, for example, are short prints. So short print in capital letters. So I'm trying to stand out to the buyer the name of the card or the name of the player and what the card is, what variation that is. So short print in capital letters. Then of course include SP, because a lot of people will just search Kyle Tucker SP in Series 1. So I want to hit both searchers of the word short print and then of the word SP. Photo variation, I love to do parallel. I love to do variation in my listings depending on what it is. The third thing that's very important to me, and I don't put it in capital letters, but I need it. I think it needs to be in there, and that is always the team name. The team name to me comes before any kind of card numbering unless it's serialized. But we have to make sure that the team name is in there. I know as a buyer, when I'm looking for my flagship Independence Day parallels, I'm always searching, Series 1, Mariners 76. And so if you are not including the team name, you're going to miss a lot of people who are just searching for team parallels. So to me, name is first. Obviously, the variation of what it is 2, and the third one is team. If you can put the number in there, it's great. If not, no big deal. I don't think anyone's really searching by Kyle Tucker Series 1 card 60, but they are searching Kyle Tucker SP or short print or black border, whatever that could be. But I would recommend take a look at your listing titles and see if you can improve them in a way. Also, from a expense perspective, never spend $2 to bold your eBay listing. That is the biggest waste of money, and it's just going to crush your potential ROI. So work on your listing, use capital letters, and never bold your titles. And here we are, number 3, the item that I consider the most fun of the process, both as a buyer and a seller, and that is, from a seller perspective, you have to be willing to negotiate. If you're not willing to negotiate or entertain any kind of offers, whether it be high or low, you must run yourself your items at auction. But if you're going to list it, buy it now, best offer, you have to be able to negotiate with the buyer. Even if the offer is super, super low, send them a counter back. Here is my best practice when it comes to lowball offers. For example, if I have a card listed at $400 and I get an offer at $100, right, well below market value, I send them back a counter at like $390. This buyer may not be the buyer. You never know. But the buyer is sending out sort of a fishing line to see, hey, where's the seller going to be at? And look, as a buyer myself, I sometimes lowball people just to see where their range is. But I would never just straight up decline an offer. If you get a low offer or a middle offer, always send them a counter back. It takes a second or two to send them a price back. But please do not be offended by any price. Be happy you got an offer, send them a counter back, and maybe you're gonna work out a deal with this buyer. You never know. But the worst thing you could do when it comes to opening up boxes, opening up cases to try to make money is just to flat out decline an offer. Always send that buyer a counter back, and love to learn how to negotiate and sort of practice that skill set. And look, we might not have a physical card show for over a year or two now. So we're left with eBay at the moment. So digital negotiation is going to help you improve your sales going forward. So there it is, guys. Those are my 3 things to becoming a better seller on eBay. Hopefully they helped you out and gave you a few things to think about. And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a great week collecting, and I will see you all tomorrow.